Welcome to episode number 312 of the Marine Layer podcast. The Mariners lose game 4, 8-2 at home. The series is tied 2-2, and we have some thoughts.
Reminder to you guys, before we start the show, go over to our website if you want to find all our stuff. That's marinelayerpod.com. All of our episodes are there. We're really trying to get to that 10,000 mark on YouTube. We're getting close, and you guys have been awesome with helping out with it. So if you're watching on YouTube, go hit subscribe, leave a like, drop a comment. If you're listening, make sure to download and leave those 5-star reviews when you're rating and reviewing on Apple and Spotify. It really helps. All of our merch is at our website, marinelayerpod.com, our Patreon as well, and then you can check us out all across social media at marinelayerpod.
Let's get it rolling.
The pitch from Acevedo. A drive feet to right field. Down the line. The Mariners win this game 2-1. The dream lives. They're going to the playoffs. 1-1 from Jansen. There you go. Left field. We got a tie ball game. Julio. Oh, baby, what a moment. Tie ball game at 7-7.
And we welcome you to this episode of the Marine Layer podcast, part of the Just Baseball Podcast Network. Recording here on Thursday evening, October 16th, and I'm sick to my stomach.
Dude, what a fucking disaster.
I'm legitimately sick with what I just watched.
I might have to set the stage for people. If you're a regular listener of this podcast, or even if you're not, you know how the dynamic of this podcast goes. I'm the one that gets really mad, really animated, really fired up, and TJ's the one that usually keeps the podcast in line by balancing it out a bit. I mean, I'm pissed off, don't get me wrong, but TJ was, as he put it today, seeing red. He actually might be more pissed off than me, which does not happen often.
From about the third inning on, I was seething the entire game. I can't believe how mad I was watching that game today. It's okay to have a bad game like you had in game 3. It's not okay to do it twice in completely preventable fashion. We'll go into all the details here in a little bit. But, it's one thing to just not have it one day, but then to show what the Mariners showed on Thursday as we laid out, the game where they had the ultimate advantage across the board, and to play the way they did had me fuming. I was fuming with what I was watching. I could not believe that is what we were watching. And I'll be honest, I'm glad we did not buy tickets tonight, because I would have been furious that not only I spent the money on the tickets, which are the most expensive in all of Major League Baseball for postseason tickets, but then to see what the Mariners did tonight would have been like, what am I paying for? I mean, I even regret turning the TV on and watching it.
Oh,
God.
Dude, there has to be so many fuming fans that were at the games either of the last 2 nights or both of the last 2 nights, and are like, we paid all this to watch that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame people if that's how you feel. You probably should feel that way.
Lyle and I are hedging our bets a little bit. We're hoping they'll play a little bit better tomorrow. We will be there, so if you are going to the game tomorrow, send us a DM. We'd love to come say hi.
Always.
Come rip off a take about the M's, get a picture, hang out. It would be fantastic. Because you know what?
Yeah.
I think we need community at this point.
Yeah, and I will say that we should be down there fairly early. So we'll be down there hanging out. We'll be in the stadium at obviously well before the game. So if you guys are going to be there tomorrow, please let us know. We always love meeting up with people. But good Lord, thank God we decided on Game 5. My God.
Well, do you know my thoughts going into this podcast? I was seeing so much red that I didn't even think I could really organize it. So all I did, I opened up my notes and I wrote down a list titled "Things Pissing Me Off Today." Do you want to go through it bullet point by bullet point?
Go right ahead. Enlighten the people.
Number 1, probably the most unacceptable thing of the entire season is letting Max Scherzer pitch into the 6th inning. Max Scherzer, from August 25th to the end of the season, had an ERA of exactly 9. Max Scherzer on the season had an ERA over 5. Max Scherzer had not started a game in 22 days. That might be the last start Max Scherzer ever makes. Ever. And he pitches into the 6th inning in a game that Joe Davis and John Smoltz and Ken Rosenthal and Tom Verducci and every beat writer on earth didn't think was going to get past 4 innings. He pitched into the 6th. And he even let John Schneider walk out to the mound and yell him off the mound because that's how bad the Mariners were hitting.
Yeah,
what?
He went out there, told John Schneider to turn his ass around, get back to the dugout, I'm finishing this, punches out Randy Arozarena with no problems in any way whatsoever, and then, if that wasn't bad enough, goes back out for the 6th. Goes back out to start the 6th inning. This guy, I mean, you look at Max Scherzer's last 6 starts of the year, 5 of them were non-competitive, and he had 1 that went 5-2. Look, by the way, let us say this. We're Max Scherzer guys most of the time. Obviously not tonight. We wanted him to give up 14 runs. We're Max Scherzer guys. He might have been the coolest guy we interviewed all year, doing all the bullpen banner stuff we did. Unbelievable dude. But on a night where we are locked into nothing but seeing the Mariners win a baseball game, and we're looking at what Max Scherzer has done in the year of 2025, that can't happen. And it certainly can't happen a night after you faced another guy that you should have jumped on in Shane Bieber flat in Game 3 and then turn around against the guy that's even a more favorable matchup and are flat again in Game 4. That can't happen. Like, even when we're going to get to the Mariners pitching here in a bit.
Because we got a long list of things we got to get to.
Oh, we got a long list. But even with all of the problems that the Mariners pitching had tonight, shouldn't matter. I mean, there's no reason the Mariners shouldn't have scored 8 to 10 runs in their own right tonight. No, they had 2 runs. 2 runs. Anyway, I'm diverting you from your list.
I'm not done with bullet point number 1. Max Scherzer's last 4 postseason starts, 14 and a third innings, 18 hits, 14 earned runs, only 11 strikeouts.
TJ, what did he do tonight?
Significantly better than that, Lyle. You want the exact line? I think I'll just give people PTSD. I don't have the line up.
I got it.
5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. Significantly better than that. Like on a just eye test level to start with this Max Scherzer stuff. Like, I didn't think his fastball command was like great tonight. So like he wasn't exactly pounding the strike zone.
Well, no, he walked 4 guys.
No.
He wasn't that efficient.
No, not at all. He threw his curveball 10 times today. His curveball was his worst pitch of all the bad he's done this season. His curveball was his worst pitch. It had I think slightly above 20% whiff rate on the entire season. He threw it 10 times and got 6 swings and misses. That's 60% tonight. He more than doubled the swing and miss on his curveball in just 1 start. And it just unfortunately happened to be against the Mariners, but that pitch has not been good at all this season. And he finally felt comfortable throwing it because you were swinging and missing at it. And he only threw it in the strike zone once. So this was all chase. Man.
Terrible.
All right, point number 2. Point number 2 comes from the only guy who had a pulse offensively tonight for the Mariners. And Josh Naylor. And I asked you pre-recording, Lyle, did a single Mariner tonight have a good game? You said, yeah, Josh Naylor. And I said, no. Because number 2 on my list of things that pissed me off tonight was Josh Naylor getting thrown at third to end the 6th inning. Of all the red I saw tonight, that was the worst. That was legitimately worse. Despite everything that had happened before, despite the start from Max Scherzer, despite your slow start again offensively, you had a situation with the tying run at the plate in Dom Canzone with 2 outs in the 6th inning against their bullpen, which is their weak point. And Josh Naylor gets thrown at third base. Let's start here, number 1. Gino finally gets a hit and comes through and drives in a run. Great. Ball was not hard hit. Ball was not hit in a gap. Ball was hit right at Addison Barger. Addison Barger, that everyone I believe on the Mariners knew, has a cannon for a right arm. Cannon. It was hit right to him. And Josh Naylor runs right to third base and gets thrown out pretty easily. I was pissed off. You shouldn't get thrown at third at any point. Getting thrown at third in that situation, awful. Atrocious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was absolutely brutal. And look, I don't think they showed Christopher Negron on the TV broadcast, but I can't imagine he was waving Naylor to third. I cannot imagine. That looked like Naylor just ran through a stop sign.
Yeah. Do you want to take a guess what else might be on my list before I keep going? Break it up a little bit?
Oh, what could be next? Maybe one Andres Jimenez is on here. Guy with a 66 OPS plus.
Yes, Andres. I had to scroll down a little bit because the list is so long. You see, I have a lot of things on here. But yes, Andres Jimenez is on here. The fact Andres Jimenez has hit a 2-run home run and gotten the scoring started for the Blue Jays and set the Mariners back on back-to-back nights. The fact that Andres Jimenez started the season pretty strong in the power department, hit 3 home runs before April even started. But then once April 1st rolled around at the end of the season, had a .277 slugging percentage. Do you want me to read that again? Not batting average. Slugging percentage. .277. And he hits another home run. Another home run.
That guy doubled the Mariners' offensive production tonight on his own. How? It's one thing if you get him once, but what's the old saying? Yeah, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. You can't let that guy hit 2 homers in 2 games against you. Not a guy with a .598 OPS for the year who had 4 home runs since April 1st.
In a 2-strike count.
So why don't we just segue right after that to your next bullet point, because that's an easy one, which is what?
Well, actually, no. I actually wanted to segue a different way off of this. The fact that in these 2 games at home, the Blue Jays have scored 21 runs, and 12 of them have been driven in by Dalton Varsho, Andres Jimenez, Nathan Lucas, and Addison Barger. If you were to say, Vladdy beats me, oh well. George Springer beats me. 2 of probably the 15 best players in baseball this year. Pretty comfortable, you'd say that. Those are the Blue Jays' role players delivering the blows to you.
Well, to be fair, Varsho and Barger had good years.
Good years, but they're stars? No.
But you can have non-stars come up clutch in a postseason. So when it happens with Varsho and it happens with Barger, it's not great, but at least those guys had quality seasons. When it happens with fucking Andres Jimenez and IKF, that's where you lose your shit.
Oh, I have an IKF bullet point on here. Separate from that, because he didn't drive in any runs. But the Mariners let IKF lead off back-to-back innings with hits and get Blue Jays innings started in which they scored 5 runs tonight. Back-to-back innings. IKF had an awful season. Not a good baseball player. Not a good hitter, really, at all. Back-to-back innings with a hit against Luis Castillo. Crucial. John Smoltz was talking about it all night. Get the first guy out. Get the first guy out. Get the first guy out. IKF, 9-hitter IKF stepping to the plate. 8, whatever hitter he was. Stepping to the plate and getting hits. Nothing. Awful. Okay, now you could take something else from my list. Sorry.
I would have to imagine Luis Castillo's on here somewhere.
Luis Castillo. Mariners needed a good start from him, given they had this enormous pitching advantage tonight, and Luis had pitched incredibly well in September. Had pitched very well in the postseason so far. In fact, the Fox broadcast was pointing out that the matchup tonight was between the best and worst pitchers in baseball down the stretch. Best and worst. You'd have no idea. And Luis Castillo rolled up an absolute stinker. What was the one thing people kept saying after what we watched with George Kirby last night? Can't leave meatballs to this lineup. You can't do it. Ryan Divish did the Lord's work, and he went on Baseball Savant after Luis Castillo's outing, and he pulled up the spray chart of all the pitches that the Blue Jays had hits on against Luis Castillo. You want to guess where all those pitches are?
Oh, I don't need to guess because I saw it, so I'll just help fill the people in. Middle.
You can draw a straight line down the middle of the strike. So from the middle of the strike zone down, you can draw a line. That's where all the balls are.
Mm-hmm.
Awful. Atrocious.
Yeah.
So, Luis Castillo did not help the Mariners at all tonight. Laundry list keeps going.
Yeah, and by the way, he didn't look too happy when Dan Wilson took him out. He had this look on his face like, you got to be kidding me. Buddy, this is the postseason. You're going to load the bases in the third inning in a close game and give up nukes to Andres Jimenez. You're getting yanked out of the game. Sorry. You don't have to like it, but that's the reality.
And the Mariners had their game. They punted. They punted Wednesday. They said, George, you're going to wear it. We're going to save our bullpen. So a night like tonight, they can attempt to stop the bleeding in a situation like that, which they tried. But unfortunately, now I'm going to go further down on my list, Lyle. 2 more things that made me mad tonight. Gabe Spire's one of our favorite people ever in the history of this podcast. Bases loaded walk. Can't happen. No. You're a leverage guy. Can't happen. Walk with the bases loaded. Doesn't matter if it wasn't his run. Pushed in a Blue Jays run. Matt Brash. Wild pitch. Run scored. Can't happen. Can't happen. Though the situation where Naylor gets thrown in at third, like I can walk down like all the runs that were scored. Andres Jimenez, 2-run home run, no power, but you gave up the home run anyway. George Springer double, could have avoided it by walking him because it was a Spire on the mound, lefty against Springer, the righty. You could have walked Springer and put Nathan Lucas at the plate. Spire could have gotten Lucas out, and then you bring Brash in for Vlad. Didn't do that.
Well, by the way...
And then you had the wild pitch, and then you had the walk. That's 5 runs right there that you still had the situation to eviscerate in the 6th inning until Naylor gets thrown in at third base.
But speaking of the Lucas at bat against Spire, you wouldn't have even had to have brought in Brash to face Vladdy in that inning. Because if they had simply put Springer on and then Spire faces Lucas, that ground ball that Nathan Lucas hit is a double play if they intentionally walk Springer and he's on first base. Yeah. And they had an open base to do it.
Before I continue with my list, I'm going to take a deep breath, and you're going to read an ad.
Wow. Already to the point where TJ's got to reset. This list ain't ending. So you're right. Why don't I pause everybody for a second? Let's tell you about something a little better than all the things on TJ's list tonight. That's our friends at Pagacci's Pub 85. And it's not a little better. It's a lot better than TJ's list of things that are driving him up a wall tonight. Because those are our friends over in Kirkland who have this awesome neighborhood restaurant and bar. It's this awesome place to hang out with 20 TVs. There's pool. There's darts. Great food. It's an awesome spot to just spend some time with your friends. And if you go during happy hour, drinks are $3 and $4. 2 to 6 p.m. on Monday through Friday. There's amazing deals. Again, $3 and $4 happy hour drinks from 2 to 6 p.m. And you can spend some time with your friends, go watch a bunch of sports. You can just hang out, have some great food. That's all over at Pagacci's Pub 85 in Kirkland.
To keep rolling, Lyle, Leo Rivas getting picked off at first base.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the first Max Scherzer pickoff in 9 years?
And his first pickoff at first base in 12 years. Never had one in the postseason. 31st postseason game for Max Scherzer. Never picked off a batter. Think of the situation at this point. Blue Jays take the lead in the top half of the inning. Mariners desperately want to avoid what happened yesterday. Leo Rivas, leadoff walk. Cal Raleigh at the plate. Cal can tie the game with one swing, and then everyone forgets about that inning, and maybe Luis Castillo shakes it off. Or, he was out of the game. Maybe the Mariners bullpen shakes it off. Maybe the Mariners offense gets some confidence going. And then Leo Rivas gets picked off at first base. You know, when you don't pick off players in 9 years, you don't have a very good pickoff move. Guys who have good pickoff moves pick off batters. Scherzer clearly doesn't. God, if we're talking about like momentum sap or however much you want to believe in momentum, like getting picked off first base with Cal at the plate is at the top of the list.
I think my actual words in that moment were, if Cal Raleigh hits a home run here, I'm actually going to be pissed. Because it was 3-1 at that point, and if Cal hit a homer that didn't tie it and it put it within 1 instead, I was going to be furious.
You know the common theme with this list? Every single thing on here was an opportunity for the Mariners to just play better. And they didn't. Everyone. I didn't even mention Dan Wilson by name in this, but he's still on here. Because it comes back to that situation of pitching to George Springer in that third inning. That was it. The pitching changes I thought were fine. Like the pitching to George Springer would have been the one thing on here. However, given all the other garbage that happened in this game, he gets buried on it.
Yeah.
Can you name a single positive thing that happened today?
I mean, if you eliminate Naylor's base running blunder. He had 3 hits and a homer.
Great.
Otherwise, that's about all I got.
Sorry. I forgot. Actually, I forgot one. The news today that Brian Wu won't actually be starting in a game.
Sounds like for the whole postseason. He's just out of the bullpen.
Things get a lot harder if that's the case. I thought he would at least try and stretch out a little bit, but no. I guess there's just not enough time for him to stretch out and get back on the bump for any long amount of time, which is fine. But now they're in a situation like they have to use him tomorrow. Like, what if Bryce gives up a 4 spot and it's 4-0 Jays in like the top in the top of the 3rd inning? Is Brian Wu coming in then to pitch down 4-0?
Don't put that thought in my head.
But I'm serious, like that could happen now because that's what they've done the last 2 nights.
What is it with these one singular innings that piss us off in every series? What inning pissed us off the most in the ALDS? 5th inning, drove us up a wall every time. What innings pissed us off in the ALCS? 3rd inning. Fucking disaster. 2 nights in a row.
Another token on my list is that the Mariners have now lost the advantage they had in this series. They go up 2-0. You look at it on paper, keyword on paper, and you say, okay, home field advantage, check. Pitching advantage, check. Those advantages are now out the window for the Mariners. They are now going to have to win a road game to win this series. They've already done it this series, but they're going to have to win another one. And they're going to have to beat the 3 best starters the Blue Jays have. Instead of beating 41-year-old Max Scherzer, they're now going to have to beat 2 of Kevin Gausman, Trey Savage, and then Shane Bieber again.
Yep.
While getting good starts from their starters, because buried in all of this is that the Mariners have now gotten 3 clunkers in a row from their starting rotation, which is going to make it nearly impossible to win a series if you're going to have 3 clunkers from your rotation. You know the biggest difference between the Mariners and the Dodgers, 2 teams built on their starting rotations, is that the Dodgers starters have an ERA of 1.5 this postseason. They have been dominant. The Brewers don't have shit on them. But Mariners starters have not had the smoothest sailing, and it has really hurt them. And it has made it harder on everybody. Really. Think of how the offense and defense mesh together, and the offense and pitching mesh together in this. If the offense scores runs, the pitching can pitch a little bit more freely and it's less tense. If the pitching pitches, look at that. If the pitching pitches better and the game's close, the crowd can be in the game as well. Gosh, what am I? I'm losing my train of thought. I'm losing my mind so much.
Yeah, because you're seeing so much red that you can't even get your thoughts straight.
If the pitching pitch better and the hitting hit better, it would help each other, the 2 out immensely. And the crowd, which, by the way, the crowd has been an absolute non-factor because the Blue Jays have taken them out right away.
Yeah. Is that the whole list? Did you get through all of it?
I think I got all of it.
It's a pretty good list. I got
There's
no notes.
There was a lot from today. I'm going to try and ground myself here a little bit. The series is tied 2-2. It is now a best of 3. You can win a best of 3 series, as that is shown in this series exactly. Just because something happened yesterday does not mean it's going to happen tomorrow, or today, or next week. Doesn't matter. Mariners win 2, look great. Blue Jays win 2, look great. Obs the vibes. I had to get a reading on this too, because I went and listened to Gate 14 after Monday's win. Because, just like there are probably some Blue Jays fans listening to this, and to all those listening, thank you. I really, really appreciate the hate listen. You guys deserve this. I went to go listen to Gate 14. Our friends Johnny Junta and Avery. You
want me to say it for you?
Chenier.
Again, it's Canadian last name.
Canadian. Okay, good. Sorry, Avery. So I went to listen, and I mean they were pretty desolate after Game 2, which makes sense. Now it's our turn to feel that way. Series is not over, but the Mariners need to play a whole lot better than what they did the last 2 nights. Because you ran down my list of what happened tonight. If any of those things happen here in the final 3 games, the Blue Jays are going to the World Series. And it can't happen. We did not wait a quarter century to watch the Mariners play in the ALCS for this to happen. And I feel bad for people who are like, 38, who saw 01 as well, 2000 and 01, two gut-wrenching ALCS losses. We didn't wait for this.
Dude, it would be so Mariners to win 2 in a row to start the CS and then just drop 4 in a row and just look awful doing it.
I have no problem with saying the Blue Jays are a better baseball team than the Mariners are if they go out and they win this series. Because if they do that, they've proved that they've come back and win 2 in a row. They can absolutely beat the Mariners in this series. But it's not going to make me feel any better. I'll tell you that much. And it's not going to leave a very good taste in our mouth heading into the offseason.
No.
So focus yourself. Let's go. Can they go win 2 of 3? Just go win 2 of 3. That's it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Again, and I'm not sitting here saying the Blue Jays are going to win 4 in a row. I'm not saying that. But in the hypothetical scenario where it happens, because it's not impossible at this point, that would be very Mariners.
Unfortunately.
Please don't do that. Please don't let that happen. Go deal tomorrow, Bryce and Brian.
What are we hoping for tomorrow? What are we hoping to see at the ballpark? 4 from Bryce, 3 from Woo?
Dude, if Bryce looks like he did in start number 1, ride him and let Woo finish it.
Totally okay with that. I can't imagine it's going to go as well as it did in Game 1 for Bryce. I could be wrong. But I just watched the Blue Jays offense the last 2 days.
But what if it does go that well?
Then the Mariners will save their bullpen and look great doing it, and they'll be 3-2 headed to Toronto, which is great. Which if you said entering this, like, hey, 3-2 headed to Toronto for Game 6, start of the series, not after the first 2 games. You'd take that. You would take that. It's just the process of getting here is what really hurts.
My mind's really starting to dwell a lot on what this postseason would have looked like if we had normal, healthy Brian Woo. If he doesn't strain his pec in Houston. He would have made 2 starts in the Tiger series. Maybe they never play 15 innings. And he's sure as hell making 2 starts in the ALCS. He's not piggybacking out of a bullpen for 1 spot.
And we can't guarantee that he would be amazing, but we'd feel pretty good about it.
I mean,
so
you're talking about a guy that is... Look, it's not like he had no bad starts this year, but for a guy that seems to love the big moment, remember how he was pitching in that Houston game before he got
unbelievably
hurt?
Good.
I mean, this is a guy that doesn't get phased. This is a guy that doesn't get hit hard. He doesn't give up the long ball. He keeps balls on the ground. His fastballs don't get hit. I don't know, man. He's been one of the... I don't think it's a stretch to say he's been one of the 10 best starters in baseball this year. To not have that. Now you're starting to see it. What did you say at the start of the ALDS, at the DS? You said you can win a DS without Brian Woo. Can't win a World Series with him. And now, after watching 3 bad starts in a row from this rotation, you're feeling that a little bit. And it's not like the Mariners' offense is exempt. The last 2 nights, they've essentially put up 4 runs. If you want to add on the 2 garbage time home runs that they put on in Game 3, I guess. But in reality, they've scored 4 actual runs in the last 2 games. So, not that they're exempt, but the way the pitching's gone in this series, you can't help but sit and just ponder what things would look like with Brian Woo fully healthy.
Do you think the Mariners' offense is relying on home runs too much?
Hell yeah. Have you watched some of these at-bats?
Yes, unfortunately. But, that's who they are, though.
Right.
Which sucks. It might be the worst possible combination that the Mariners have to play in this park with their offense centered around hitting home runs.
Okay, but it wasn't like this all year. They hit home runs, but they would string together big innings, and they would plug doubles in the gap, and they'll draw their walks. Right now, you've got half this lineup that's totally non-competitive. Vicks look non-competitive. Robles, Canzones look uncompetitive. Randy and Gino Randy and Gino have absolutely looked uncompetitive. I don't think I'm missing anybody. JP hasn't looked great. You mentioned
JP too.
Yeah, he hasn't looked great either. So when you've got half your lineup not hitting at all, and also not really coming up with big moments, because it's one thing if you have a bad postseason OPS-wise or average-wise, but you have a couple of big moments. Those 4 guys, or 5 if you want to count JP, have not had big moments, and they're not hitting, period.
They just don't ever look like they're in control.
No.
Well, at least in the last two nights, those first two games in Toronto was a little bit better. Look, these two nights at T-Mobile Park, the Mariners hitters have looked like they're reacting instead of controlling. The Blue Jays hitters look like they're in control. Pitch out over the plate, they're swinging at it. Mariners, it's just not. The swings aren't convictive. They're not good. They get popped up. They pound it into the ground. Or they swing and miss. It's not great. And they need to be in a little bit more control tomorrow. And it's not like they haven't taken their walks, but they haven't done anything with those walks at all. The pressure has not been on the Blue Jays for one iota these two home games. And that has to change. The pressure has to be on. The way you were going to break a mediocre pitching staff is by forcing them in huge moments to execute. Something we expected the Mariners pitchers to do and have been unable to do in these two home games. But with a pitching staff not quite as talented as yours, you're hoping that you can do that to them. And they have had no pressure on them at all. And it's been a big reason why the Mariners are sitting here tied 2-2 right now instead of potentially heading to the World Series at this point.
We got anything else? I think we've gotten a lot off our chest in this episode.
No. If you're at the game tomorrow, please come say hi. We can all cope and try and hype ourselves up as we head into the ballpark. Which, again, I'm still going to feel confident tomorrow. I feel like I've been pretty confident heading into all these games. I still think this Mariners team is really good. But this performance tonight, the last two nights, has just been awful. It's been, for waiting 25 years to watch them play in an ALCS, to see these two performances just make me feel sick to my stomach. Seriously.
Yeah. Yes. It was one thing to let Game 3 go, and I think we did. We talked about it. It's not like we were happy about it on the podcast after Game 3, but we let it go because it's hard to sweep a team in the playoffs. When you do that 2 nights in a row, you're seeing it everywhere tonight. It's not just from us. It's from all over the fan base. Now people are pissed off, and rightfully so. And the Mariners really, really need to respond in Game 5.
Well, that's all I got. You guys will hear from us tomorrow, probably a little bit more after the game since we will actually be there. But
right.
What we're open for tomorrow is the Mariners head to Toronto going up 3-2.
Yeah.
And there's every reason to believe they can do that. Because let me offer this at the very least. The next two games, they will not be facing guys with breaking balls they rely on. Kevin Gausman and Trey Savage. Both throw splitters. Mariners had a pretty decent amount of success when they needed to against those pitches earlier in the series. The breaking balls of Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer are the ones that made my head explode watching that offense. Mm-hmm. They won't have to worry about that until Game 7. The goal? Don't play Game 7.
That'd be great. Yeah, go win Game 5, man. You got to go win Game 5. You thought we said Game 4 was a must-win? Oh, you better believe Game 5 is a must-win. They got to go win Game 5.
Hasn't changed. Must win, period. End of story, rest of the way.
Yes, correct. Man, I'm trying to think. I thought there was something else I wanted to say. Maybe that was it. Maybe my head's spinning too. Just remember to come say what's up at the ballpark when we're there tomorrow if you see us. Oh, it was that when TJ says we're going to
subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, so it was those two things. Number one, it was please go subscribe on YouTube. We said it at the start of the episode. We said it the last couple episodes. We're getting close. We're getting really close to the 10,000 mark, and you guys have been awesome with responding to that and helping us with that. Again, it's funny that there's been a lot of DMs we've now got saying 2K, 2K, 2K. And it's like, well, we're not at 10,000 yet. And we're not going to DM people this video of me exploding during Game 1 of the ALDS in the crowd. You got to get to 10K, and you guys have been awesome with helping us with that and hitting subscribe, and we hope you guys continue to do it. But to see the video, we got to get to 10K, and you got to find us in person. That's the key. So, and you got to say 2K. You got to say the code word. So 2K. Carrie, Kirby. That's why it's 2K. But we're getting really close, you guys. So please just hit subscribe if you have a second on YouTube. It would mean the world to us if you did. Along with that, for the Game 5 post-game episode, like we're doing right now, it probably will be out a little bit later. I would guess later on Friday night. I guess it could be into early Saturday morning, possibly. I guess it depends on if they win, if we stay out for a bit afterwards, etc., what the mood is. If they win, we might be in a good mood and want to hang out with some people afterwards. If they lose, I'm sure we are not going to be in a good mood. So, at the very latest, that podcast will be up into the early hours of Saturday morning. It'll be there for you when you wake up on Saturday morning, or it'll be there for you later on Friday night. We'll tweet something out or post something on social media to give you an update. So, yeah, if you're at the game, come find us tomorrow, and hopefully they find a way to get a win.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. All right. That just about wraps up this edition of the Marine Layer Podcast. You guys know the drill. You want to listen to the full form podcast, you can do so wherever you get your audio pods. If you're listening, please make sure to go subscribe on YouTube like we were saying. Drop a like, leave a comment. If you're listening, please download these episodes, rate and review on Apple and Spotify, 5 stars. It really helps. If you want to leave a written review on Apple, you're more than welcome to do so as well. Everything else is on our website too, over at marinelayerpod.com. Our merch is there. We've been thrilled to see all the people buying merch. We'd love to see you guys get some more because it's been flying throughout October and people have been loving it, and people have been loving it all year, which is really cool for us to see. So that's over at our site. Patreon's over at our site if you want to sign up, and then you can check us out all across social media at Marine Layer Pod. That's TJ. I'm Lyle. As always, we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.